You just got handed the biggest budget of your career, and most people completely fumble it. Some panic, some get greedy, and some just start spending with no plan at all. But scaling a budget isn't about spending more money. It's about deploying it in the right way. Because when you get that wrong, it's not just wasted money. You look like someone who's never operated at that level. So the question is, how do you actually scale a production budget the right way? My name is Ryan Huffman, and over the years, I've produced hundreds of campaigns at every level, from lean social shoots to large commercial campaigns. At some point in your career, you're going to get a massive opportunity that's asking you to work with a budget or creative you have no idea how to pull off. Now, allocating your resources appropriately doesn't just raise your production budget, it elevates you to a new tier. Bigger opportunities and repeat clients who call you time and time again. So today, I'm going to teach you how to scale a production budget, where to actually put the money, and how to approach it like you've already been operating at that level the entire time. Let's get into it. So for step number one, before you touch a budget, you need to ask yourself one question. What is this project built around? So what makes or breaks a creative? Is it a location, talent, a stunt, a set build, a drone, an animal? Whatever it is, find out what your anchor is. That is your North Star. Now, to give you two examples, let's talk about two very different types of locations or creative. We just did a commercial recently. It was with celebrity talent, soccer athletes at a stadium. So that revolves around two things. One, it was, well, soccer and celebrity talent, but also a stadium location. So a stadium location is very different than a house. So after a while, you can kind of identify, like, a stadium is going to cost about X, a house is going to cost about Y. And with that, those types of locations determine a lot of different types of production approaches. Very often in a stadium, you might ask yourself, like, is this need to have more talent because I need to fill grandstands? A stadium also doesn't often need that much production design. It's empty. So maybe your art numbers are lower. Flip side, a house. Maybe you're shooting a house that needs a ton of set dressing. Maybe you're in a house that doesn't need barely any dressing at all, and you just can fly in and shoot it as is. While I just described two very completely different productions, the idea is still similar. And that is honestly why most budgets can blow up, is that people will just start filling in numbers before defining what that anchor is. Now, sometimes it's obvious, but then other times you got to really identify, like, where am I going to allocate my resources appropriately? And if you don't know where to start, identifying that anchor will help you fill in other areas without just having to guess and help you get it right. So once you start to know what everything revolves around, you now have a couple different ways of how you can scale it. So for step number two, identify your scope and time. Now, when a budget increases, you really only have two levers that you can pull. And that is, do you want a larger scope or do you want more time? Now, sometimes you can do both at the same time, but sometimes you don't have that luxury. Now, for larger scope, that means you might be able to afford a huge location or larger set builds or more complex setups with motion control techno cranes or maybe larger casts or stunts. And for time, you can maybe allocate more shoot days, more prep days, more flexibility to execute what you need to do properly. Now, most people default to just larger scope and think that, like, oh, bigger is better. But in reality, time is just as powerful. Don't try to scale scope without scaling time. It's how things can break. So now once the structure of the job is in place, the next thing you scale is not the gear, it's the people you bring on board. So for step number three, hire up and build your support. Now, this is where most producers get exposed, because when you step into a bigger job, they try to prove that they can do everything. Here's a golden rule. If you haven't done it before, hire someone who has. Do not pair your inexperience with someone else who is also figuring it out for the first time. Now, this applies to every department. That could be a producer, a DP that's shooting car coverage, a production designer working with VFX and set builds, or a styling working with an incredibly large cast. Do not be the guinea pig to anyone else's first try. I do not recommend it. If it's already yours and your neck is on the line, hire some other people that can make you look even better. Which brings me to our next point here, is that you need to also scale in two directions, and that is between creative and production. So one step there is production support. I mean, I have literally seen companies that sit here and all of a sudden their budget jumped like 4 times what they've ever done before, and they just keep a producer and a production manager on it. When the job scales, you need more production support to do things appropriately. That's additional coordinators, production managers, location managers, PAs, office PAs, you name it. And too often I see companies that get a little greedy and they're like, oh, like, we have this 800K job now, like, we're going to give a producer like 10 prep days and a production manager like 6 days. Like, that's enough. That's what we always do in our jobs. Wrong. You need to scale those up accordingly. That will allow you to get a stronger production team, have better prep, and overall a better shoot. The other area that you can also throw more money at is creative leadership. That is your director or photographer, or maybe even both. Now, with that, your creative will automatically get elevated to a higher level. That's maybe getting a better DP that you didn't know, a production designer you've never met, or a stylist, or even a first AD. Like bringing on a stronger director can also bring on stronger keys. So, yes, people elevate the work, but there's another side of scaling that also protects it. Which brings me to step number 4, scale your operations. Now, this is one that no one really talks about, and sometimes, honestly, it's not even always reflected in your budget. But this is one that can actually protect your company, your brand, and your crew. So, bigger budgets often mean bigger risk. Just because you haven't needed it before doesn't mean you don't need to do it now. So, your job is to minimize risk as much as possible. Never, ever, ever cut corners on safety or on insurance. It will absolutely bite you in the ass. And if it does, it could end your entire company and your entire career and reputation in the process. So when you scale, that really just covers your insurance. Are you insured properly to do this all legally? Workers' compensation, if someone gets injured or hurt, are they going to be covered? And same goes for structure, like pay people properly, pay people on time. Work with like reliable vendors and establish proper systems. I mean, this is your chance to carpe diem, seize the day. If you're playing at that level, show people that you can operate at that level and actually do things appropriately. So now that you have everything built and protected and making sure that it's all running properly and you have the right crew and people to pull it off, this is the next bonus point step. This is step number 5. You can expand your post and deliverables for your project. Most people think that scaling a budget is all about the shoot. It's not. A lot of the biggest upgrades can happen after you shoot, which is in post production. If you have more budget, you can get more out of the shoot. Now, to go back to creative support, like we talked about earlier, maybe you're bringing on a commercial director, a photographer, a social shooter, a BTS photographer, you name it. There's a lot of different creatives that you can bring on into one place and maximize the shoot, but not only the shoot itself, but the deliverables. Now, also in post, that means you can typically bring on a better editor, better colorist, better sound designer, you name it. You have the ability to work with better creative talent. And just like your creative talent that you brought on earlier, I will tell you, you need to scale your post-production talent accordingly to match your production. If you put all your money in production and try to shortchange post, it is going to very much look like it. So another big unlock is VFX. A lot of smaller jobs don't have the ability to use VFX effectively. And with more money, you can do paintouts, you can do set extensions, you can do a lot more complex visual effects projects with post-production. Now they have the money to do it. And lastly, one of the highest leverage decisions you can make and that cost scale drastically is with music. I had one project in particular where we actually we helped the social team scale the budget. They originally had about 150K. They had the budget go to 500K, but we actually said, hey, instead of going all the way to 500, why don't we just spend 350K on production, about 50K in post, and then 100K on music licensing? We were able to license an insane track that literally transformed the entire spot. I've been seeing people that stick production budgets low and they really dump a lot into music licensing. You can do so much with music. It is the energy of a piece. And with more money, you can scale a lot more in that direction. So for my last and final point, I want to talk about one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of producers make, and that is that you do not spend your money correctly. Now, the first instinct on a big job for some people is, oh my gosh, this is more money we've ever had. We should save money, come in under, pocket a difference, and walk away making a ton of money. That is the wrong move. That is being penny wise and pound foolish. Now, the client will know what work at that level looks like, so they will expect that by giving you the money to do it. If it looks cheaper, it will be felt immediately. And guess what? You won't get called again. So with that, also, you need to spend it appropriately at the budget and level that you're operating at. Do not cheap out on the crew experience, on the catering, on the production support, on the logistics, any of those things. Crew members and clients will notice it instantly, and it very quickly makes it look like you don't know what you're doing. You want to build a relationship not only with your clients, but the people that are working on your sets and your projects. That is equally as important. The people that fight for you, the people that help you make the work that you're doing. Filmmaking is a collaborative process, and you want the people that are working for you to also value you and enjoy working with you as well. Now, scaling a budget isn't about how much you can actually spend, it's about how well you can deploy it. And the producers you get hired time and time again act as they've been there before, even if it was the first time. As a quick recap to scale your budget, first find your anchor and build everything around it. Use scope and time intentionally and not blindly. Hire above your level and build the right support around you. Scale your operations to protect you and the people working for you. Maximize your posts and deliverables. Spend the budget the way it was meant to be spent and treat your crew with respect. Don't be cheap and bid out everything that you don't know how to do. If you found this video helpful, I would love to hear about it in the comments. And also, if you're looking for more ways to succeed in entertainment, you can check out this video right here. I'm Ryan Huffman, and I'll catch you on the next one.